your seatbelt on? Why don't you have your seatbelt on? Or what? Why do you have it up? Sit down. Hey, keep your window down. Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Give me your ass. Get out of the car. Give me your ass. We'll break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. 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 What part of that don't you understand?
Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out, bro. God damn, twin.
When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand?
I'm getting out.
You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little confused.
I'm getting out, bro.
Too late.
Chill,
Too late.
All right, bro. Take me to jail, bro. Do what you gotta do, bro.
We are. We will.
Good, bro.
It is good.
Hey, Drew, hey.
Don't worry about it. I hung up the phone. You stop crying.
Bro, y'all.
Stop moving.
Good. Bro, you beating on my window like you crazy.
Set him up.
Why y'all beating on my window like y'all crazy for? Damn, yo, bro, dude, beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin. Damn.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Hey. Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I'm getting arrested. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro.
I just heard you in your ears when we got there.
Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew. Hey, call Drew. Call Drew, bro. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey. I'm not doing anything. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tariq. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tariq, man.
Don't park there, man. Just get in the car.
Hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Straight up the side, on the side of the
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car.
You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey,
I'm
in
not
the
driving.
car.
Who's the driver?
This is my car.
All right, move.
I'll take that.
You gotta move right now. Let me have your license. You're gonna have to ticket.
I just had surgery.
Right now, you know, so I've been trying to figure that out too. Man. Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you.
Good morning and welcome to the National Newspaper Publishers Association's Let It Be Known. So that cop obviously was on a power trip because the same cop who walked over to, and I always forget the other player's name. And if you saw the entire video, he's telling him, "Let me see your license." The other cop tells him, "Just go." And he says, "What?" He says, "Well, I'm telling you, I want your license." And he cuffs him eventually. And then, of course, Odell Beckham got there, and they yelled at Odell Beckham. There's a lot to this, so I was looking, and that's why you got to take the whole thing in to really put things in perspective. First and foremost, Tyreek, I thought. He's like, "What you banging on my window for?" We have to engage them a little different, all these law enforcement officers than that, because it did sound a little like, a little. I might not want to say it that way, but you can understand his frustration, and then you got to understand why he really didn't want to keep his windows down. And he mentioned it later. Didn't want everybody taking pictures, didn't want everybody knowing, because the people there in Miami, and I talked about this yesterday, the fans knew who he was. And, he didn't want the embarrassment. He had some knee surgery recently. They had game one yesterday, I mean Sunday, and so he was slow in moving. The cops knew who he was. That cop knew exactly who he was, and wanted to exploit his power over him. So what? You're this big NFL star, big Miami Dolphins star. But it shows how aggressive the officers were, including, at one point, Tyreek Hill basically says, I'm a black man. I know. Basically, I'm a black man in America. That's all. And the cop tells him, "Well, I'm not too much different. We're the same. I'm, basically identifying himself as a Hispanic American." Dolphin safety Javon Holland said, "I've seen the clip." He says the cop like kicked him or something. It was crazy. He says it's not unnatural or not uncommon for cops to do that type of stuff, especially to black men. This is the point. And had the situation not involved one of the best and highest paid wide receivers in the NFL, instead just a random black person stopped outside of Hard Rock Stadium for careless driving, here's an educated guess as to what probably would have happened. At best, he would have been arrested. His car would have been abandoned on the side of the road. At best, we already know the other side of the coin, which happens far too often. And of course, with several people capturing that moment with their cell phone cameras, this investigation would not have immediately been launched if this was just your average black man. And even the Dolphins. So this is important. This is important. The Dolphins released a statement, and the statement is really telling. And it's one of those. It's one of those. You're happy to see it in this case, because here's what the statement says in notes. In no uncertain terms, the Dolphins say, "We have a strong relationship with the police department, but we're saddened by the altercation." As is on full display in the videos released tonight, there are some officers who mistake their responsibility and commitment to serve with misguided power. This is the team statement. While we commend the department for taking the right and necessary action to quickly release this footage, we also urge them to take equally swift and strong action against the officers who engage in such despicable behavior. So, big ups to the Miami Dolphins, because their word, their statement is going to go a long way here. That tells me that that officer is going to be dealt with in the way he should be dealt with. It's not going to be, regardless of what the police unions are usually very powerful. But I'm telling you, folks, down in Miami, down in Miami-Dade, nobody's more powerful. The only person perhaps more powerful than the Miami Dolphins organization is Ron DeSantis. And even that sometimes can be questioned. But Tyreek Hill said the reality of it is that if it wasn't Tyreek Hill, worst case scenario, we would have had a different outcome. He says the headline would have probably read, this is what Tyreek Hill said. The headline would have probably read Tyreek Hill, the citizen, shot in front of Hard Rock Stadium by police. There's no exaggeration. People can say what they want. There's no exaggeration. But on game day, this is probably more than anything else, is really why that officer is going to be probably going to be relieved of his duties. Game day in Miami. It's not like game day in New York. New York, we got the, Jets and Giants don't even play in New York City. but still, I mean, they're big, especially the Giants. But you got all types of stuff in New York. This is Miami. This is a small town compared to New York. Um, places, there are places. I mean, this has happened in a place like Alabama with a college football star. It wouldn't fly either. Georgia, college football star wouldn't fly either. Dallas with the Cowboys, it wouldn't fly. There are places it's not gonna fly. You go to other places where, Houston with the Texans, that okay, it'll fly. They don't care. They don't care. You know, it's just the way it is. This cop misread the situation. He power tripped and probably power tripped himself out of a job. And another thing that's going against him, dude, you are a minority as well. So the union put out their strong statement the other day supporting the officers. They're not about to put themselves on the line for you, dude. It's just this is the way it is. And so unfortunately, you're gonna have to learn the hard lesson. And nobody's gonna boo-hoo for you except maybe if you got a wife and kids. Now you've failed them because now you won't be able to at least make a living that way anymore. Or maybe you'll be fortunate to be like a lot of these other officers that they move around when they get in trouble. You'll be able to go to another location. Maybe Tampa will take you, but they football lovers too. You got to go to like West Palm Beach or something. Mike B says power tripped out of a job, but will be rehired by a different county or agency. Wash, rinse, repeat. Um, Before we get into anything else, I got to bring this up. So okay, we got and also we should talk about a little bit about the Super Bowl. I could care less who's performing anymore. I could care less. Um, as long as Jay-Z is in charge of that, there's going to be controversy. Nicki Minaj absolutely went nuclear on Jay-Z and everybody else yesterday. Went nuclear, and the thing about it is that we don't know for sure that Lil Wayne is gonna be kept out of the Super Bowl. We don't know that for sure. And then for folks who saying and that they're trying to back Jay-Z, I'm not going against Jay-Z. I mean, well, I'm not for him. I'm not going against him right now. But before uh, folks are trying to back him by saying, well, it's the city, the location, they're the ones in charge of picking like the acts. Jay-Z provides the names and they pick. It's not true. It's not true. Stop the nonsense. The mayor, the city council they have nothing to do with that. Now, they could object to who they choose. It doesn't mean that the NFL or Jay-Z is going to go along with their and that the city is going to pick them. Stop the nonsense. Jay-Z is picking. If it took Eminem to say we're having 50 Cent or I'm not appearing, and they went for that. They could have told Eminem, hey, so sit it out. That's what I would have done. I mean, come on, you supposed to be the boss. Be boss. But Nikki went in. She went in. She loves her Lil Wayne. And obviously she has her reasons to love Lil Wayne the way she does. Um, but hey. But anyway, my original point was going to be this. It used to be until recent, folks watch the Super Bowl for commercials mainly. And now we've had some competitive games, competitive Super Bowls. It's kind of changed, but I'm kind of watching television now for the commercials now too, not just the Super Bowl. Have you seen the latest Rihanna Dior commercial? The commercial opens with a stunning aerial shot of the Palace of Versailles. I happen to have visited the Palace of Versailles earlier this year. So it opens with this stunning view of the palace, drenched in golden light, transporting viewers to the nostalgic place of the previous commercials that Dior had, but with a modern twist. And there she is. There she is. Rihanna comes into frame in a black trench coat, baseball hat, and these big sunglasses, all designed by the creative director of Dior. She grabs the bottle and instantly sheds her dark ensemble to reveal this glittering gold gown. Then she struts down the dazzling hall of mirrors while maintaining this siren eye glare with the camera, paying homage to the product's roots, Dior, of course. Uh, After her catwalk, then you're met, there it is, with shots of the queen gliding through sparkling water and commanded all attention. There's no doubt that this is a woman, or shall I say, idol, who is unstoppable, powerful, and enchanting. And to finish, our girl gazes to the camera, honey blonde tresses blowing in the wind, and says, "Your dreams, make them real." Come on. There it is. Good Lord. Rihanna just rocks. She absolutely rocks. You could show that for the next 50 minutes. Hey, relax, Mr. Durant. Relax over there. He's Oh, that's right. Greer says he got to send her a check. I mean, the commercial is absolutely. I know y'all think because it's just Rihanna. I know Sinead's saying just because it's Rihanna. No, it's not just because it's Rihanna. It was just such a great commercial. Yeah, it is. I guess because Rihanna's in it, that makes it even greater. But the way who could pull that off? Come on, who could pull that off? But Rihanna. Yes, if she doesn't, she ain't got all these other perfumes. Michelle, I don't know that Dior is like in her top 5, which is good because they probably the most expensive. They will be now. um, Folks, you can't think of James Earl Jones without hearing his voice. That booming bass, conveying instant dignity, um, or even menace. That was his signature instrument. It brought power to all his stage and movie roles, most indelibly as Darth Vader in Star Wars, Mufasa in The Lion King, and this is CNN. And that remarkable voice is just one of many things the world will miss about the beloved actor who died Monday, according to his agent. He was 93 years old. He was surrounded by his family when he died, according to his rep. There is no cause of death was shared, but um, see, I like that Bob Iger, the chief executive officer at the Walt Disney Company, um, released a statement. He says, "From the gentle wisdom of Mufasa to the menacing threat of Darth Vader, James Earl Jones gave voice to some of the greatest characters in cinema history. A celebrated stage actor with nearly 200 film and television credits to his name, the stories he brought to life with a uniquely commanding presence and a true richness of spirit have left an indelible mark on generations of audiences." I mean, listen, this man had quite the career. It spanned 60 years. And it took him from a small town theater in northern Michigan to the highest reaches of Hollywood. In fact, the Empire State Building paid tribute to James Earl Jones yesterday. And Emily, it was probably the best tribute. They used the Empire State Building, the lights and stuff like that um, for a lot of things. For instance, like Yankees win the World Series, it lights up in the pinstripes. Mets win, it's like their color. Knicks wins, their color, et cetera, et cetera. Something happens, and they lit the Empire State Building. Not only lit it up, and made it in the frame of Darth Vader, but they did it like a little show, a light show at the Empire State Building. Um, yeah, Timothy. So, Greer, you're gonna have to help me with this. Timothy raises this. I saw this as well, and I didn't know. I don't know the relationship, but Mark Hamill tweeted, "Rip Dad, R.I.P. Dad." Is there a relationship there? Is he like his stepdad or something? I saw that too, Timothy, and I didn't. I said I was gonna look into it, and I didn't. It takes a quick Google search, right? But yeah, I saw that, and there was nothing else there. Um, so I don't know. Um, oh, so there you go. And Star Wars, Darth Vader was his father. Oh, okay, that makes 100% sense. Okay. Star Wars. Dr. Nicole says it. See, I'm not into that Star Wars, Star Trek stuff. I'm just not. Oh, he says, I am your father. Could you imagine? We always talk about like the greatest like TV and movie dads ever. Like you mentioned, like James Evans and Dr. Huxtable and all of those guys, Uncle Phil. But could you imagine your dad? That this is son, come here. I am your father. That's look. I bet those kids grow up with straight A's. That's for sure. They go to school. It's straight A's. Straight A's. So I got it. Now, I say I'm not into Star Wars, and apparently Timothy is not into Star Wars that much either. So she's like me. She's like me. And by the way, Shanae does say that Dior is a favorite. So Michelle Madison, thank you so much. I will accept donations to help buy Shanae some Dior. You started it, Michelle. You started it. Shoot. Uh, okay, Power 96. I get it. Orangey swag sports. I get it. I'm just not into that Star Wars stuff. We have friends who are real Star Wars lovers. In fact, um I have a really good friend. You're not gonna believe this, who actually has won some Emmys, has produced some of the Star Wars movies. So a really, really good friend. But I'm not into it. I'm just not into it. And so, Jason, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but you already know I'm not into it. Power 96 says his role in Fences is still one of the greatest of all time. Fences is a movie that I saw the Denzel Washington. I didn't see the stage play, and I had wanted to see the stage play. I saw the Denzel Washington, Viola Davis movie, Fences, and it was a movie that had no redeeming features, qualities, no entertainment value whatsoever. Denzel is the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. And that acting in there was he was great. He was amazing as always. Viola was amazing as all. The storyline, it was just so doggone depressing. I just don't want to go to the movies and be depressed. I remember my older sister, when she saw Precious. She loved Precious, but she said she cried the whole time. I don't want to go to a movie where that was so doggone depressing. And there was no winners except the baby. No winners in that movie. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was so excited, because we as a family, we don't go to like R-rated movies. It's PG-13, TV 14, whatever. And to see Denzel in a PG movie, PG-13, whatever it was, Fences, it was like, okay, we can go see this. Man, I was mad as heck having sat through that. Greer says that Fences was a masterpiece. The movie was a masterpiece. No, so that's not what I'm saying. You're right. What I'm saying is it was so depressing. I mean, this dude, the way he treated his wife, the way she, I mean, she just was like in prison basically because he forced her take care of this illegitimate kid. It was the way it was done, the way, the storyline and the way he was with his son and then his brother. This was so sad. Yeah, she's Grizz and August Wilson's fan. August Wilson is the GOAT. It was just so sad. Like I said, the baby was the only real winner in this. She says she loves to play more. Um, so I guess Orangey, Power 96, we gonna have to see the play. Mike V says I would also say his masculinity challenged the norms across generations as well. I've yet to see it duplicated. That's a good point. That's a good point. He said, "You right about that, Mike V." He said, "I needed some scotch after seeing Fences." I listen, and I needed the real good bottle too, one that Mr. Durrett refuses to get for me. I needed the real good, strong. It's like, are you kidding? Ah, it's debate night, and as of this moment, we're in the home studio. He says, "What? Yeah, you got to get me the good bottle." We've been trying to hook up with Mr. Durrett and Dr. Nicole. I'm telling you right now. I want the world to know now, since I'm gonna make it public because they're not responding. They're shunning us, y'all. We've been trying to do a double date, and they keep telling us about our schedule. They're not worried about their own schedule. I don't understand. That's like a brush off, right? They brushing us off. Shay and I do not deserve to be brushed off like that. I want y'all to know. I want y'all to know. So it's debate night, and we're in our home studio today, but for the rest of the week, we'll be in Washington, D.C., in and about town. Of course, the debate tonight, I'm getting on the midnight train. Actually, it's not the midnight train. I'm getting on getting on the Excella in a few, headed down. Gria's already in place. We're going to bring y'all some serious debate coverage. And we are also going to bring you the CBCF's annual legislative conference live from the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. And of course, we're going to bring you the NMPA's leadership reception. We're going to be there for the leadership reception on Thursday, 7 p.m. at the Conrad. Beautiful Conrad. Thursday night, 7 p.m. It's debate night, though, and y'all remember the June debate between President Biden and, of course, the twice impeached former President Trump. It was a rare exception, according to experts, ultimately leading to an unprecedented change in the Democratic presidential ticket. Now, as Vice President Harris prepares to take on Trump in their first presidential debate on tonight, experts are predicting the match could potentially produce a similar consequential and history-making moment that could sway undecided voters, which is a key voting block, I should say, that could determine who wins in November. Those who have analyzed previous debates said this one will be pivotal for many voters since it follows Harris's entering the race, as well as her naming Governor Walz as her running mate and Trump naming Senator Vance as his. It's going to mark the first time that Trump and Harris will be seen face to face, and viewers will be able to see how both react to the jabs likely to fly during the showdown tonight, which will take place at in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to air on ABC, stream on ABC News Live, Disney Plus, and Hulu. People got their Fire Sticks. You can see it there. YouTube, Tubi. So we'll see. Also, the Freedom Coalition for Charter Schools is demanding that when Trump and Harris take the stage, they address the education crisis affecting Black children. So far, this election season, mainstream media and the candidates, they say, have spent too much time focusing on issues rather than the massive failures that are taking place in America's classrooms. And no group has been impacted more than African American children. Sarah Carpenter, the founder and CEO of Powerful Parent Movement, which is out of Memphis, says we need to focus on the needs of Black children. Saving democracy is a vital issue, as well as addressing the border, but America cannot be a world leader in the future if our children are not getting a high quality education. So something to watch. There's always going to be complaints from a debate as to what they didn't talk about, and I got to tell you, um, there's going to be a lot of that. You can expect a lot of them not talking about or debating, I should say, real issues, because we know that. Let's face it, Trump is the other person involved in this debate, which means that it's going to be a complete and utter circus. There's not going to be anything to really debate except how much are you going to have a fact checker? Are you going to be able to keep track of what in the world is he saying? Is she going to be able to um Hillary Clinton, when they debated, she she really held her own, and holding your own doesn't mean that in any way that he was winning or whatever, because debates are not, they're clearly not his thing. That's one of the things that's clearly not his. He cannot win a debate, but he can bully the other person like he tried to do, and in some eyes was successful with Hillary Clinton. I mean, I will never forget. I'd never seen anything like it before. How he went over there and stood over her and stood behind her and scowled at her and just tried to intimidate her with his presence. Uh, it was just unbelievable that you had a presidential candidate doing this. And one thing to remember, as Greer pointed out, um, with Biden no longer in the race, Donald Trump would be the oldest person ever to serve in the Oval Office. Let's check out this clip from Roxanne
Think that
Gay.
people love to hold on to power. And we're seeing that right now. Like, why on earth is Nancy Pelosi running for office again? What more does she have to prove? And a lot of these older politicians are saying that there's no one for them to pass the mantle to, which is, first of all, absolutely untrue. But if you, in the past 40 or 50 years of public service, haven't mentored anyone to take over your position, then that's your failure. And quite frankly, it's a shame. I think that people love to hold on to power. And we're seeing that right now. Like, why?
Uh, and Americans are okay with that. Many of them, too many of them, apparently. David Youngblood said Hillary did wipe the floor with Trump, but lost to patriarchy. It's true, true. Um, and Timothy Williams says, I believe a lot of white folks will not vote because they don't want Trump but refuse to vote them. Yeah, you do see that. George W. Bush is one. He's publicly said that he will not vote for Trump, but he will not vote at all. Um, so what you have a point there. Um, I think that you have that faction, but at the other side of the coin, I think you also have the faction who, because Kamala Harris is a black woman, you have that. I will not vote for a black person. I definitely won't vote for a woman, and I surely won't vote for a black woman. You have that. Um, Mike V says I would be careful going after folks' age because they go after Clyburn or Ward is next. We don't need that. Yeah, I get that point, Mike, and I also get what folks are saying. I mean, there are a growing number of folks who want to see uh, Congress, the Senate, and the White House get younger. I I get that, and I also believe too that there are a lot of folks who want that torch to be passed. People believe in passing the torch. Austin chimes in from the top rope about George W. Bush. He says he's always been a useless idiot and is now a useless fool. Wow. What a wait. What do you call it? Condemnation. Austin putting it on George W. Hey, the guy. So that's the problem. That's one of the many problems I have with politics, because it's truly it's not about the well-being of the country. It's almost never about the well-being of the country. It's almost never about uh constituents. It's about party, which when you think about it, you do an Arsenio Hall and take something that make you go, hmm, you know, it's a shame, because people say, these lawmakers, well, I'm going along with my party. Well, where's your conviction? Where's your backbone? Where is your, well, I'm going with what's right. See, we talk a lot about, when you raise your kids, it's not a do what I say, not what I do thing. You're supposed to lead by example. And if folks are putting you in a position to make laws, to run a country, to run a business, it's not about, okay, I'm a Republican, so whatever the Republicans say is what I'm going to go with. So if the Republicans start making laws that it's legal to just uh, kill somebody, so is that, oh, because I'm a Republican, I'm going along with it? It's illegal to just do this or do that, or it's legal to do whatever. Um, it's all about party. It's not Democrats same way, they go along. I mean, they have these different factions of the party. For instance, with Democrats, you got the progressives, um, and you got the moderates, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, so, which supposed to mean that you just don't go along just to get along, which means that you do what's right, right? What you really feel in your heart is right. Is it that these politicians' heart is so black, so dark,
when they are
so
asked specifically, what
messed
are
up?
you going to do for the middle class? What are you going to do about housing? I anticipate that you will hear from the vice president when she says, I understand that you're struggling. I understand that you can't buy a home. And while I can't set that interest rate as the president of the United States, what I can do is make sure that I push for legislation that will offer up to $25,000 for down payment assistance for those first time home buyers. While Donald Trump doesn't have a plan beyond helping out those at the very top, which is why he's fighting to get back in, because those tax Trump cuts are yeah, that's what they were. They were Trump cuts. They are going to expire in 2025. And so we know that he and his very rich friends are now going to start to have to pay their fair share.
Mr. Donald, your rebuttal.
The debate, all the pressures on Kamala Harris, not Donald Trump. We know who Donald Trump is and what he's going to do. She has to demonstrate the stature, the competency, and then the ideas to be president of the United States. So I think you're going to see more out of this campaign as things trend downwards for Kamala Harris.
I'm going to have to dock you points right there, Byron Donalds. While you may assert that the pressure is on Kamala Harris because we know who Donald Trump is, this is who Donald Trump is.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation. Can you even imagine this? What the hell is wrong with our country?
What is he talking about? Well, that's the thing. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? But again, Byron Donalds, it's just hard to digest folks like that for a lot of reasons. And even, like I said, you guys with this politics stuff, I couldn't imagine that this guy has support. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine that. No, that really. I mean, he's so far gone. He's so far gone that there's nobody in his family. Nobody in his family snatch even at his age. I mean, I mean, somebody would snatch me up. Somebody in my family, be it a brother or a sister, certainly one of my two sisters would. Um, a parent, a cousin, Aunt Pam, somebody, a wife, Shanae. This guy has nobody to really in his family. I mean, that just means he's just not loved. So in that sense, maybe you feel a little sorry for him. He obviously Byron Donalds is just not loved. He has no love in his life. And that's the same with like a Clarence Thomas. That's my conclusion, folks. That these guys, that's the problem. That's why we see a Waka Flocka, Ice Cube. See, money can't buy your love. That's what the song said, right? Or the movie or something. It's like The Godfather. Better to be feared than to be loved.
Installing Laura Trump as head of the RNC, we might have never gotten this.
Without your bravery, we're all out of luck. No, this can't be denied. You gotta be special.
That's special. That is special. She said you gotta be that's special. That's some back in the day, Jerry Lewis telethon special right there. Oh my gosh. That's Laura Trump. That's come on. Who told you could do that? It's it's like it's like me when my family sees me picking up a microphone claiming to sing. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Oh gosh. Unseasoned is what he said. Wow, I'm gonna use that unseasoned because that's a kind way of blasting somebody. Unseasoned. I like that. Unseasoned. That's up there with diabolical. She said, "Now you know you don't want me saying that, Greg." Oh, unseasoned. Let's stick with unseasoned. Speaking of singing, and y'all know I'm not the the biggest of Beyonce fans, and I saw Totally Randy tweet this morning, or retweet my tweet this morning. I always appreciate her, and as Power 96 says, the red bone. Um, but she, I'm sure, is among those who are absolutely furious with the Country Music Awards nominations announced on yesterday, and absent noticeably from the Country Music Awards, Beyonce. She released her first full-length country project. Y'all remember? Everybody remembers that. I mean, I think the last album that came with such anticipation was Michael Jackson's Bad album because it was the follow-up to Thriller. Cowboy Carter. But she was absolutely snubbed. And the Bay Hive went to work. They went to work. They went to work, and I'm sure Randy was among those. She she said Beyonce had said her experience motivated her to do a deeper dive into country music. She said when she released Cowboy Carter that the criticisms she faced, she says, when I first entered this genre, forced me to propel past the limitations that were put on me. And a lot of that came, although she has not said it herself, but we know a lot of that came from the backlash she got after performing Daddy's Lessons at the 2016 CMAs with with the Dixie Chicks, now known simply as the Chicks. And then everybody loved that Texas Hold'em song, the lead single off of Cowboy Carter, and it was like at least they could have announced that, but they did not. The song became the first by a black female artist to top Billboard's Hot Country Songs. And Cowboy Carter, it had been considered a tribute to black musicians' contributions to country music. Many viewed the album as a reclamation of country, which had often been perceived and is a genre. It is perceived as a genre for white men, especially. Black artists had also said they hoped that the album would bring more recognition to black country music. And it did. I mean, she collaborated, Beyonce, that is, with pioneers like Linda Martell, Brittany Spencer, a rising star, Raina Roberts, Tierra Kennedy, Tanner, Adele, and Shabuzi. Shabuzi actually, who was featured, he was featured on 2 of her tracks, right, on Cowboy Carter. And he got 2 nominations, including Single of the Year and New Artist. And he went on Twitter yesterday and praised Beyonce. He says, "Thank you, Beyonce, for opening a door for us, starting a conversation, and giving us one of the most innovative country albums of all time." Morgan Wallen led the nominations. He got 8 nominations, and he had a collaboration with Post Malone. So, and Post Malone, he also collaborated with Beyonce on Cowboy Carter. So, and he got 4 nominations, by the way. So it was like they knew exactly what they were doing. They gave Shabuzi multiple nominations and Post Malone, and both of them collaborated with Beyonce, who they absolutely gave none to. This, folks, this was done intentionally. Come on, this was done intentionally. There's no question about it. Beyonce doesn't need anybody to rep for her, to stand up for her. But and I'm certainly not the one to do it. But I will say that based alone on the attention, the fanfare, the and everything else, Cowboy Carter brought to country music, there's no question that she should have been nominated, and at the very least, given album of the year. That picture right there is disturbing, I think. But anyway, I think it's kind of it's given almost Madonna, and I'm talking Madonna today, not Madonna years ago. So we need to switch pictures for the Bayhive. Come for us. But that is it's really, really, yeah. America hates to love black women, and see, country music is supposed to be a reflection of America, right? With the whole the big hats and it's like baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. It's like, give me a break. Oh gosh. The orangey Power 96, as I told y'all, tell the red bone I will cash app her a dime so she can call me anytime. See, the fact that you would say that, the fact that you would even say a dime, first of all, when was the last time it cost a dime? When was the last time there was a payphone to go and put a dime in? Power 96. He's I'm not listen. Uh he's too much. She not online right now, Power 96. Cheryl Brown says at the end of the day, all them old bags need to sit down and let the new generation take over for Congress and the Senate. I thought we were talking about Beyonce here, Cheryl. Or maybe I just got to your comment late. Um, yeah, the dog's gonna tell. Yeah, it's true. But come on. Um, it's like you you know that there are institutions that they want to make their claim, stake their claim to that. Listen, one of the many things that Cowboy Carter proved was that that genre um, was it's she took you back to the roots of it. It was originally black. Let's just face it. You know, the taste in music itself is really a black thing. I mean, I'm just simplifying it. That's what I'm trying to say. History is history. Greer says black people created American pop culture. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I just get at a loss for words. But give me a break. That's why I enjoyed the story, the last movie, the Tom Hanks Elvis movie. That's one of the reasons why I enjoyed that movie so much. And when my family and I went to Graceland and visited and went into the history, and Elvis has never hit it, but it's been mainstream media who has hit it, who has not highlighted Elvis's own thoughts and Elvis's own words. He absolutely made it clear that this was black music. His music was taken from all these black artists. He made that extremely clear. So anyway, yeah, robbed Beyonce, but that's okay. She's still a couple of $1 billion richer than the rest of us. So that'll be all. But check us out. Check us out this week, folks. 9 o'clock tomorrow. Remember, Wednesday and Thursday, we're on at 9 a.m. We're going to have another special time on Friday as well. We'll tell you more about Friday later this week. Friday is going to be shaping up to be a pretty special day from a very pretty special location, but we'll fill you in. Stay tuned for that. And as we leave you today, we remember the one and only James Earl Jones.
There was a letter. Let me go back a bit. Anthony Quinn appeared on this show some time back. Last time he was on. He said that he was going to play, do you say Henri Christophe or Henry Christophe, the Haitian emperor, late Haitian emperor? And he said he was going to make a movie about it. And that he was looking forward to that, and so on. And Christophe being a black man. And then we talked about something else and he left. And then this very angry letter appeared in the New York Times by Ellen Holly, yes, actress, saying, and the headline, well, she's not responsible for it, the headline writer something like, "Blacks don't need Tony Quinn," or something like that. And the letter was beseeching him not to do this and saying it was a terrible idea for him to play a black man on the screen because black people should play it and it would take away from black pride and all of that if a white man were to play a black man. And I think this is nonsense, but I wondered if you do.
Well, I think a lot of what comes out of such a controversy is nonsense. The controversy itself, though, you have to pay some attention to why it happens. Just my own personal view of that, of whether Tony Quinn should play a black man. In this case, the black man was real, was of history, and I think I can't condemn Tony Quinn for playing that. Only Tony Quinn can condemn himself if he does not achieve several things, which include he has to evoke, project a black man in appearance and behavior and so on. To the extent that we are different from white people, he has to, as an actor, achieve that. But he also has to achieve the essence of a Haitian, and add on to that all the other problems of achieving an emperor with that kind of great ambition. And if Tony Quinn fails at any of these things, he has condemned himself. But that's an actor problem, and not a cultural one.
Yeah. But since you're not willing to say that he maybe can't succeed at all those three things, then you wouldn't say that it's wrong for him to play the part.
I don't know his acting talent that